Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. The Environment Minister has said something, and I've got to be honest, it's very unusual for someone in government to point out the troubles they have and be honest about it. But Steve Reed has, and it's a problem caused by government policy as much as any two government policies really. And not just this government. We've got to be fair, not just this government. It was started by Labour under Tony Blair, but the Tories have done nothing ever since either. So it's a multi-government problem, but nobody's bothered doing anything. And now we're about to reap the terrible, I'm going to say reward, the terrible punishment. Britain is less than 10 years from water rationing, from having taps turned off at various points of the day, for industries to be limited on how much they can use, etc. The reason, of course, is a result of both the mismanagement of the waters of Britain, the terrible record of leaks that the water companies have got, and, of course, mass immigration. Millions upon millions more people demanding water for drinking, washing, bathing, all sorts of whatever. Plus the rise in the industry use with all those extra people as well. Well, it's millions upon millions upon millions of gallons, 200 million extra gallons a day. We don't have the facilities and we don't have the rainfall at the moment. Our reservoirs are actually going down. And that's because there's too many people. Now, Steve Reed, unbelievably, has admitted this. Now, it's his government that isn't clamping down on the water people, the water companies at the moment. It's his government that are not stopping mass immigration. And I'm not even talking about the illegals coming across. We're talking about the nigh on million a year coming here legally. You can't keep bringing in millions of people over the next 10 years. I mean, over the next 10 years, you could have as many extra people in this country as maybe an extra 20 million. This is, because you're talking a million a year for 10 years, but there's also those that are having babies when they get here. The British population could increase by 20 million over the next 10 years. And we don't have the water infrastructure to cope with it. We're going to become a dry country. We're going to come with water rationing. You will have to buy your water at a very much increased cost. Who's going to suffer? Well, the poor, of course, always the poor. But this is what happens. Nobody wants to tackle the problem. Water scarcity in the UK has been something that's been known about for about 30 years. Water tables are dropping. We haven't built a reservoir for God knows how long. The reservoirs we got are at lowest record levels. And again, they still pile in 1 million people a year, very thirsty, wanting to clean their clothes, wanting to wash their bodies, wanting to clean their car, wanting a beer. Well, not many of them. Some of them want a beer. That sort of thing. It's all water everywhere. But it's none of us. And then, of course, the water companies that are discharging shit into rivers and the sea. And there's 20,000 leaks. At any one time, across the whole of Britain, there's 20,000 leaks not being attended to. We're losing hundreds of millions of gallons of water a day. So, solutions. Solution number 1, close the border. Solution number 2, tell the water companies that they have 1 year to get their game in, because you can't overnight. You've got capital investment. You give them 1 year to get their act together with the water leaks. And if they fail to do so, they'll lose their licenses and we take water back into public ownership with no recompense. And we sue the water bosses. Simple, isn't it? The threat of going to jail, they're going to pick their game up. And then we start also, big infrastructure project, build 3 or 4 reservoirs. It ain't hard, it just takes money. And here's the thing, if we stopped giving money to foreigners, we'd have lots to do shit like that here, wouldn't we? Another near 100 billion to Syria. Excellent. They hate us. They hate our culture and our way of life. They are, they have terrible human rights records. But hey, here's 100 million so that we feel better. Well, I don't feel better. I feel worse because I think that 100 million could go to be spent in this country far better. And what we ought to say is, fuck the Syrians. There we go. Johnny Foreigner should be the last in the queue. The British should be first. Thanks very much. Bye.